Hello guys, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching this. Hope you're all good in the hood. Can I really say that? Anyway, as you guessed from the thumbnail, I have just been done over by a customer. Not a great experience, and luckily it very rarely happens to me. I've such good customers. If you're one of my customers in the past, you'll know that I really appreciate the work. And also you appreciate the professionalism that I do. Anyway, let's get into it. So, in our previous EICR, where we took Vicky with us for a trial day. She's not coming with me, by the way, but it's fair enough. You know, she's a lovely girl. Good luck to everything she's doing, whatever she chooses to do. Nothing personal or anything. She just chose not to go as an electrician. So, you know, good luck to her, and that's it. Before you ask, I'm not looking for any more apprentices. I won't be taking on any more apprentices. Anyway, let's get into it. So, in that EICR, you saw it was an absolute state, the place was. It was HMO EICR, and it was just not nice, was it? The places were mouldy. The landlord didn't want to change the fire alarms, which were ionisation smoke alarms. So, she didn't want to change them. I actually put it into the estimate. In the trading fire estimate, say I am advising you to change them, but if you choose not to, then you're taking responsibility for any injury or damage to property and or persons. So that's all on them now because they accepted it. Hopefully nothing happens. If it does, it does. It's out of my hands. During that EICR, you was seen that the previous electrician had replaced the main RCD switch with a main switch. So it did have an RCD as a main switch before, 30 milliamp RCD, but there was a fault on the circuit. I don't know any of this, but I'm just presuming. There was a fault in the circuit. The electrician couldn't find the fault, so he changed it for a main switch. Customer was happy because now they have electric, but they don't know why. They don't know what we know. Anyway, I turned up, done the EICR, noticed this fault, but we didn't know where the fault was. We knew it was a dead short between line and neutral, and very low, I think 1.6 megohms between live conductors and earth. So very low. That bit wasn't passed officially, but you know 1.6 megohms, it's going to be tripping again in no time. I sent a remedial estimate for 1 full day's work. It included the fault finding and that. I didn't know where the fault was. It was on the downstairs socket circuit, but where it was, I don't know. It had to be found where it was. I said the full day just to cover myself. Customer rang me up and she said she can't, I will say she, it's a lady, I'm not going to give her names, you know, fair enough, because she's not here to defend herself, and I'm more professional than that. She rang me up and she said that she can't carry on paying out work for the property without knowing how much it's going to cost. And I was like, okay, I don't know where the fault is, I don't know what the fault is, so I don't know what it is or what might need replacing, whether it needs a leg replacing or you need to split it into 2 radials or whatever. I don't know. and until I know, I can't give a definite price, but I estimate it to be a full day with fault finding and that other work. Eventually I agreed to adjust the estimate to just be half a day, but with a caveat in it that I didn't know where or what the fault was, so it was likely that it could go longer than that. I can't give an accurate time or a price for that, which is fair enough. I think it's fair enough, and I'm sure you guys think that as well. We both agreed half a day on the estimate. Bear in mind it's an estimate on Tradify, not what I give. I never give quotes because you never know what you're going to find. So I agreed to do the remedials, but I said I'd start on the fault finding first, then we'll have an idea how long the full job is going to take. Get the big bit out of the way first, and the rest of it, it was little jobs, but it was going to take another half day to do them little jobs, which she was happy with that. But she said, can you let me know once you've finished it, and then we can have an idea of how long it's going to take. So I completed that at about 12 o'clock and rang the customer to say what the fault was. I'll put a picture up. It was twin earth from the sockets. It was going underneath the house, and I'm not sure if you guys get this where you are, but in Northampton a lot of the basements have been filled with rubbish and concrete, that sort of thing, because they hold a lot of damp. So what they do is they fill it up with rubbish from building sites, and sometimes concrete. And what it done is it poured the concrete, but it's trapped one of the cables. So a cable, if you see from this picture, is going into the concrete, and that is what's causing dead short. It was between two sockets, and I went under the house and found the cable, and you can see it. So what I had to do is bypass that bit of the cable, a couple of Wago boxes, and then all good. So I done that, tested it all, and it all come back perfect, no problem at all, and we was happy to go. Rang the customer and told him I've just found the fault, it's this, that. Sent them a couple of photos as you've just seen, and I said I'm going to carry on with the rest of the work now. The rest of the work is pretty straightforward, but I didn't give a time for it. I'll give you an idea of what the rest of the work is. So I'm reading from this a bit of paper, so apologies. So I think it was a 6-way DB. There was 2 DBs. One was 6. There was 2 6-way DBs, I think. One of the consumer units didn't have any grommets in it at all, so I had to replace all the grommets for that. Basically redress the board. That's what you're doing, isn't you? It's only 6 circuits, so it wasn't too difficult, but it had to be done. Labelled up both consumer units. Replaced the main switch for a Type A RCD because we've found the fault now. And now, also, by the way, this that board didn't have RCD for the shower as well, which is not good. So I had to replace the RCD, which was fine, no problem. There was a couple of conductors showing basic insulation above where the consumer units were. I showed you that in the video. I will put a link up to the video at the end, so if you want to watch that, or I'll tell you what, watch it now. I've done all these little bits and pieces. The thing that took longest was obviously the consumer unit, taking all the cables out and then putting new cables in once they've got grommets in. It took a while. So I'd done all of this and left the property at 3:15. Went home to finish the paperwork, so I was finished paperwork and that by about 5 o'clock. I sent the invoice, happy, all good, and the customer went backwards and forwards. She did not like this invoice. She rang me up and she said, why have I been charged for a full day when I was only there for half day? At the time, I said, I'm not sure exactly what time I left, but it was about 3:30. I'll let you know the time when I get home, because I can check it on Google Maps timeline. And this is where all the emails started, and she was threatening and this and that. And I was basically saying I was there till 3:15, and she was saying no, there was another tradesperson that said you were there till before 3 o'clock. And I said, yeah, I went home and then I've done the paperwork. 3:15 or 3:17, I'll put the exact time right here, then I'll be able to say what it was. Oh, it was 15. And this kept going backwards and forwards. She kept saying, yeah, no, you weren't there. I said, yes, I was there. She said I didn't get there till 10 o'clock. I was sitting on this doorstep waiting for her for 9:30 in the morning. She got there at 20 to 10, roughly. And so it's a full day's work. Fair enough, isn't it? Yeah, this went backwards and forwards. It's like, if I was to read you all the emails, would be all day. But it's like, wow, it's loads of, what it's like backwards and forwards. You weren't there. I was like, yes, I was there. The invoice is correct. The invoice stands. So it's due by, it's actually tonight, at 23:59 tonight. Otherwise, it'll be a 5% charge on the invoice for every day that it's late, including bank holidays and weekends. During this period of the emails backwards and forwards, I lost a lot of sleep. It was just, you know what it's like. You can't relax at night, and because I've got previous PTSD and all that from being in the army, it did not help me at all. And we're only querying like 200 quid, so it's not the end of the world, but it's more the principle rather than anything. 200 quid is like, you can earn that in an hour. It's nothing really. So eventually, this is where it came to, after lots and lots of to and froing. It came to, I'd had enough, and I wasn't going to let my mental health and sleep suffer for the sake of 200 quid. I was like, I gave her a massive explanation of my old journey from being in the army, the journey I've taken, which I've shared with you guys loads of times now, where I've become disabled, out of work. I was a lorry driver, went back to college, retrained as an electrician, got to the screw fix trade person of the year and all that stuff, and giving a bit of background as to my professionalism and the hard journey I've taken, and she was calling me unprofessional. I was unprofessional towards a vulnerable person. And you know what it's like, they bring out all these words and it's like, you need to get a grip. Anyway, I gave her all that information, which it was pretty long, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn this back on you. Also, I said about my charity work and helping people at Cynthia Spencer and helping end-of-life patients for companionship, and also about COVID work and working for Tesco's and doing other people's shopping during COVID because they were vulnerable. So I gave her all this, not really a sob story, but a bit of what I'm about, and to show that I'm not a cowboy, if you like, because I take my job professionally, and I don't like it when people say I'm a bit of a cowboy or unprofessional or that sort of thing, or I'm trying to con them or whatever. I'm not interested in the slightest. So I gave you the choice. The invoice was for £836.72. I said, listen, I'll give you the choice. You can pay the £836.72, or you can count it as half day and just pay £636.72, so 200 quid less. After which I'd send a report and certification over to her, that sort of thing. I want to say as well, I held back the EICR, the satisfactory, and all the documentation. I don't do that as a rule, but you know when you can tell it's going to be a nightmare, so you need something in your back pocket, otherwise she wouldn't have paid. It's like, you can tell, can't you? Nick Bundy done a video on it recently. We've all had these things, and I know some people will say, why you let them get away with it? They're probably doing it to everyone. It's like, yeah, I know, but you know what? I'm better than that. I've given her a choice now. If she wants to pay the lesser amount, then she's basically saying that she is a insert words below that are not very nice. It's not worth my mental health. I'm now awaiting a reply. I'm just going to check my phone, see if she has replied. I bet she hasn't. And now it's 3:21 on Sunday. Still not had a reply. When she does reply, I'll put the reply in the comments below, or I'll put it up here with a little explanation if it's done by the time I've edited the video. So guys, have you had this problem before? What would you have done, and what have you done in the past? I appreciate not everyone, some people can take the mental stress more than me, so they'll follow it up, and I was all willing to do that, but it just really affected my sleep, so I thought, you know what, I don't need to do this. But listen guys, I'm going to stop going on, but thanks for watching. Please let me know what you've done. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel, because guys, we are at 3,700 subscribers. I'd really love to get to 5,000. I'm going to start doing more videos, all sorts of things. I'm going to be on my own, so if you don't like it, then go elsewhere. But it is what it is, you know. Also, follow our other channel, Travelling Veteran. We are getting the car ready to go to Gibraltar. You can see all what's in the progress of getting the car. We're going to be driving it to Gibraltar. So after we've been to Gibraltar, I'm coming back to Benidorm, and I'm going to meet my missus in Benidorm for a week. We're going to spend a week there, and I'm going to drive back on my own. So I'm having 3 weeks off work. Wow. Come follow us, find out how the journey goes. I'll be putting regular updates on Instagram whilst I'm there, but the video will be on the channel when I get back. If you looked at that other channel, then please give a little comment to that channel and this channel to say what you liked about it, that sort of thing. So guys, thank you very much. I'm going to get going, and don't forget to like, comment, share, prescribe.